Get us back to the moments that mean much more than we think. And the important stuff too. Panadol. Care starts here.
What's the code?
Yes, it's 547.
But that's not working.
Dad, she really needs to pee.
We're going to get in a minute, okay?
It's not opening.
I'll call.
Your call is very important to us.
Speak
Please
with
stay
a
on the
person.
line. You're a valued customer.
Representative.
We can go in the window. Just a moment, Dad.
Meanwhile, at Estays. When other holiday homes leave you hanging, try one where you can reach a human in about a minute.
This is 7 News, the voice of the New England.
Tonight, the State Emergency Service prepares for wild weather over the next few months. Police crack down on motorists driving under the influence across New South Wales.
I'm Daniel Gibson. Later on this news hour, Hunter bus tragedy victims relive the horror as the driver returns to court. And a new portrait released as the royal family remembers the Queen.
7 News begins now.
Good evening. Heavy rainfall and strong winds could soon batter parts of the New South Wales state, including the New England northwest, as storm season begins. The State Emergency Service is urging residents in our region to prepare our homes now.
Storm season has arrived in New South Wales and will stick around for the next 7 months. The State Emergency Service is expecting destructive conditions.
We are predicting that there may be some significant storms coming. It'll depend on the frequency as to whether they're going to be behind each other, one on top of each other, but also the soil saturation.
A combination of above average rainfall and temperatures are already causing storms to batter parts of the state, including the New England northwest.
No way to predict exactly when the first storm is going to hit. We have already seen some storms in southeastern New South Wales that have caused significant impact.
Last year saw the SES respond to 840 storm-related jobs across the northwestern zone, with 110 of those in Tamworth.
All of the communities across northwestern zone are at risk. Storms do not pick and choose. They come and go, and they have the likelihood of potential to impact any community.
The SES is hoping residents will heed their advice, clearing yards and gutters and trimming trees. Storm season is a busy time for many arborists.
We don't want phone calls then. We want before accidents happen. Yeah, we want to try and prevent it.
Trees that may have been damaged in previous storms should be assessed.
Well, you get big gum trees. They can be within range of, being uprooted into houses and things like that. That's why it's good to have an arborist look at these trees.
The SES have taken on a number of new recruits in recent weeks, but are always looking for more volunteers.
This year we've actually seen a pretty big spike in recruitment and sign-ups. So lots of people want to join and help out their community and just be part of their team.
James Carter, 7 News.
New South Wales Police have cracked down on dangerous driving across the state, including our local roads, as Operation Raid comes to an end. Hugh Pearson joins me now from Tamworth. Hugh, good evening to you. How many traffic offences were detected?
Kirsty, the 4-day operation identified more than 6,600 traffic offences in total across New South Wales. Police conducted more than 120,000 breath tests and more than 10,000 random drug tests. 470 drivers returned a positive result, and more than 1,800 speeding offences, 261 mobile phone or distraction-related offences, and more than 4,000 other driving offences were also issued. Minister for Police, Yasmin Catley, says motorists need to work harder to prevent any more harm on our roads.
People have to change their behaviour if they want to drive safely on our roads, and the responsibility lies at every driver's foot.
Kirsty, so far this year, 229 people have died on the state's roads.
Hugh Pearson in Tamworth tonight. Thank you. Thousands of the nation's farmers will rally in Canberra tomorrow, pleading with the federal government to listen to their concerns. Local farmers say renewable energy projects will impact their livelihoods if they go ahead.
Farmers are the backbone of this country, but many are calling for change within the agriculture industry. Tomorrow, they're putting the tools down as they rally in Canberra.
because we're all feeling the impact of some really bad policy decisions out of the federal government, including the water buybacks.
Dungowan farmer Tim White says the Valley Alliance, which has around 270 members, is concerned about the future impacts from installing above-ground power lines. If transmission lines go ahead, there's fears property will be damaged, livestock disrupted, and the potential for land value to drop.
It is a huge impact on us in so many different ways, from firefighting costs to insurance premiums to ecological losses with regard to impact on our local environment.
Jackie Gidley Baird says she worries about what will happen after the lifespan of some of these renewable projects, which sit outside the New England Renewable Energy Zone.
There's not very many good plans on rehabilitation of the land after this infrastructure is removed. And what does that mean for Australia as far as our ability to make food?
The phasing out of live sheep exports by May 2028 is also a contentious issue for farmers. Mr. Martin says he hopes the government listens to their calls.
Well, this is a whole of Albanese government failure. There's hardly a month goes by that a really dreadful decision isn't pushed out, supposedly as a solution and an improvement.
The rally will start at 11 a.m. tomorrow at Federation Mall. Hugh Pearson, 7 News.
Regional families are facing mounting financial and mental pressure as they wait months on the childcare waiting list. New data reveals more than 80% are stressed about getting their kids into care but can't afford to leave the workplace.
As a working and studying mum, getting young twins into childcare was no easy feat.
It forced me to take 12 months of maternity leave. And the last 5 or so months of that were unpaid.
Karen Rowe is among thousands of country parents who've had to sacrifice their work for childcare duties. New data from the Parenthood finds 86% of regional and rural families are struggling to access childcare, and they're buckling under the financial stress.
Without my wage, when we had our oldest, it was tight, but it was okay. And with the twins, it just was devastating.
Some families are waiting up to 2 years to get just 1 day a week, forced to send their kids to separate centres or even out of town.
Our wait lists at times can be, double the size of the room that we've currently got.
Childcare workers say that attracting enough staff to the regions is crucial to fix this crisis, even with the government's 10% pay rise.
When they're under the age of 3, it's 1 educator to 4 children, and once they're over 3, it's 1 to 11. So depending on how many staff every childcare has, depends on how many children they can have.
70% of the early childhood education system is privately run, but rural advocates say that the government should be funding more public early learning centres, especially in country towns.
If you want mums to return to the workforce, you need to have that infrastructure set up to support that.
Brooke Young, 7 News.
The New South Wales Education Department is proposing to axe almost 250 non-school-based teaching jobs across the state. The role is held by an educator who assists the implementation of the state's curriculums in public schools. The New South Wales Teachers Federation says it's an illogical decision to let them go, claiming it leaves public schools vulnerable, particularly in regional and rural areas.
And that's sometimes because teachers are in small schools where they don't perhaps have a large team of school-based teachers around them, purely because of the population size, small schools, small population.
A spokesperson for the New South Wales Department of Education says the ACTS teachers will be moved to other areas of the education system, with consultation already underway. Change of pace now. It's time for a look at what weather occurred across our region today, and it's been overcast with grey skies sticking around into the afternoon for most of us. That cloud trapped in some warmth overnight though, which led to some milder overnight lows. 12 for Narrabri, 14 for Moree this morning. Our maximum set in the high teens and the low 20s. 20 degrees for Tamworth today. Warmer in Glen Innes, that top of 21, but it didn't feel that warm. Wind gusts around 30 to 35 kilometres an hour. So with the wind chill, it felt cooler. In Armidale at 2 o'clock, it felt like 11 degrees. Now, there is the chance of storms this evening, possible showers today too, but sunny and warming up tomorrow. I'll have a look at what's in store for the rest of our week a little later on. Still to come in 7 News, local businesses weigh in on whether New South Wales should be plastic free, and early voting begins for Regions Council elections.
And a little later on this news hour, emotions run high as the driver who caused the Hunter Valley bus crash tragedy prepares to learn his fate in court. The Defence Suicide Royal Commission exposes a litany of failures, and an airline stoush with calls for Qantas and Jetstar to break up.
Welcome.
Women don't want you to be kind. They want you to control them. If you're not in control as a man, you're a beta.
James, is everything all right?
Yeah, it's nothing.
You're definitely all right. Yeah. Do you know what's influencing your kids? Learn the hidden trends of disrespect before they lead to violence. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Kellogg's Cornflakes, made with Aussie corn.
Good morning.
Come on, Cornelius. Raised and ripened in the sun.
Rise and shine, it's golden red.
With 4 ingredients and 6 vitamins and minerals. We've been keeping cornflakes deliciously uncomplicated for 100 years.
Cornelius!
So you can taste the simple goodness in every bowl.
Hey, boy! What did you make at school? A ladybug. Text us when you land.
Yes, Mom. Love you guys.
Remember, we're just here for a tow ball. Oh, we might need to take this tow ball out for a test drive.
Find your O with a $1,500 finance deposit bonus across the Hilux range. Toyota.
Your humble hatchback, Pierre, had a horn with a pop-pop sound. Pierre looked like a roller skate, drove like a dream. When you farewelled your old life, Pierre was there. A car doesn't have to move fast to move you. If it's precious to you, protect it with us. GIO. Protect precious.
We all want a fairy tale ending. It's true. But saving for a deposit is like walking through glue. Great Southern Bank puts dreams into action with tools like the Vault and the Boost to get traction. You might be single or with a growing clan. Everyone's different. You just need a plan. The best dreams are filled with hope and with laughter. Great Southern Bank. Happily clever after.
Welcome back. Local government elections are just around the corner as pre-polls open across the region. Around 30% of eligible people are expected to cast their ballot before election day.
Democracy is in full swing. Early voting for local government elections in New South Wales is now open.
It's been a long haul, but we're just about there now.
As of 11:30 a.m. this morning, New South Wales had nearly 190,000 pre-poll votes and just under 420,000 postal votes. About 30% of eligible people are expected to cast their ballot before election day this Saturday.
The residents keep their eye on things, and they know pretty well prior to this part of the cycle, they know pretty well which way their votes are going to go.
If you're not voting through the post, you have to be in your local government area to vote. And that's one of the reasons why residents are skipping Saturday's democracy sausage.
Because I'm going away.
If I don't, I'll get fined.
There's only a handful of pre-poll voting centres in every local government electorate, although more will open up on Saturday.
Voting between council areas may differ, so read the instructions, and if you're having any issues, speak to one of our friendly staff at our early voting centre.
Postal votes closed today. If you don't vote at all, you cop a $55 fine.
The only thing to remember is voting is compulsory at local government elections, so make sure that you're able to work out how you can participate in the election.
Rex Quayle, 7 News.
The state government is moving ahead with its problematic plastic overhaul as they suggest more proposals for the state. But the hospitality industry is concerned it will negatively impact small businesses.
Rubbish is everywhere in New South Wales, which is why the state government continues to tackle problematic plastics.
I think everyone's in support of a cleaner, more sustainable industry, but it needs to be practical.
According to the New South Wales government, 891,000 tonnes of plastic was generated in 2022 and 2023, but only 14% of that was recycled. So now it's seeking community and industry feedback on proposals to limit problematic waste. One of them is phasing out items where non-plastic alternatives exist, which includes plastic lollipop sticks and plastic food tags. Although, with the cost of living crisis already putting pressure on small businesses, many are concerned over the proposals.
No one actually really likes paper straws. If anything, it costs us double because a lot of people tend to use one straw gets soggy, use another straw, that straw gets soggy.
Another proposal requires food service venues to accept reusable coffee cups, but the hospitality industry has concerns that could make them liable for a customer getting sick.
If pathogens remain in those cups and they're refilled with coffee, that patrons can't come back later and blame the businesses because the businesses didn't have anything to do with cleaning those cups.
Small businesses say the government shouldn't be putting the responsibility onto them and want more assistance if they are forced to switch their packaging.
All of these things have a contribution. The more regulation, the more rules that's in place does affect the bottom line of the business and whether the business stays open.
Rex Quayle, 7 News.
In breaking news this evening, the Hills of Gold wind farm owned by Engie has been approved by the New South Wales Independent Planning Commission. The 372 megawatt wind farm with 62 turbines will be located 60 kilometres southeast of Tamworth near Nundle, Hanging Rock and Crawley. The panel granted development consent of the project today, subject to strict conditions, which includes imposed conditions of consent to mitigate a number of issues raised by the community. The applicant could be required by landowners to implement landscaping and vegetation screening for residences within 5 kilometres of any wind turbine. Well, still to come in 7 News tonight, a 22-year drought comes to an end for a Group 4 team and a huge win for Armidale in New England rugby. Claire Cianta has sport next.
Tomorrow on Sunrise, the biggest tech announcement of the year. We're live to Apple HQ as the iPhone 16 makes its global debut.
Plus, Aussie favourite Human Nature reunited with huge news for their fans. See you in the morning.
For the first time in more than a decade, a new team has hoisted the Group 4 Premiership. The Moree Boars and the Boggabri Kangaroos facing off in a grand final to remember.
It was Moree's moment. But the day didn't start as the Boars had planned. Boggabri nearly had a second, but the refs would call it back. That opened the doors for the Boars. But another drop ball had the Kangaroos reaching for a tee. Their lead would last just minutes. Missed tackles gave Brenton Cochrane a free run home and the crowd something to cheer about. But Boggabri would earn the lead at half-time. And early in the second, they would extend it. With just 6 points separating them, a try scorer turned facilitator. From there, Moree fell into their usual routine, dominating the second half and pouncing when it mattered most. Boggabri battled but couldn't hold out the Boars as they ran away with the premiership. The final score, Moree 40 to Boggabris 18.
When we first were put in first division, I never thought we'd be making a grand final, and here we are in the grand final. Smallest town in the competition, but I think we got the biggest club.
Yeah, it's a moral boosting thing for the club and the town, and you know, Moree's been given a bad rap of late, but this is definitely a positive day for everyone.
A moment for friends, family and community to savour. Max Gen, 7 News.
2 days after the New England rugby decider, the victory is still sinking in for one team. A huge win over their crosstown rivals in the grand final, finishing off their splendid season.
Robb College crowned victors of New England. The picture-perfect afternoon started from kick-off. Robb College scoring in the very first minute. 1 became 2. Will Green was given the honours. Things went from bad to worse for the Blues as skipper Jack Grant was sent to the sin bin. In his absence, they'd kick to cut the lead down to just 7. And soon Rob were down a man. Another 3 points put them well in the fight, heading into the sheds. Early in the second half, they'd get the lead. But Robb College rallied. And a game that was back and forth became a one-sided affair. Rob couldn't be caught as they ran up the score. A consolation try from Armidale wouldn't mean much come the full-time whistle. Rob taking out the win 39-21, a moment that means so much to so many.
Sure, people coming through next year, and hopefully we can run with it and see how we go next year.
Armidale now going back to the drawing board after losing their second straight decider.
Hey, look, it's just that last game that unfortunately the last 2 years we haven't been able to get.
Max Gen, 7 News.
Argentina have handed the Wallabies an historic hammering, defeating Australia by 50 points in Santa Fe. The final score, 67-27. It's the most points the Wallabies have ever conceded in a test, and the man captaining them was Gunnedar's Harry Wilson.
Obviously, it was a tough loss for us today, but keep trying to improve, and I guess it's when you got the All Blacks just around the corner, it's pretty exciting.
Wilson now has 2 tests under his belt as captain and may retain the position against the All Blacks later this month. Still to come in 7 News, Kirsty will be back with all your weather details.
Welcome back.
Honestly, Albie, HelloFresh has made planning feeding time as easy for us humans as it is for you guys. Look, you know I love you, Jarvis, but there's just no way you'd be able to get dinner on the table in under 20 minutes like this. Planning even just a few dinners a week with HelloFresh can help in a lot of little ways. Less stress, more variety, no one getting prickly about dinner. No offence. Beautiful.
Where's mine?
HelloFresh, hello dinner.
You never go cold on me. You are the sunshine to my beach. Like the tone and the ice cream, we're better together. Girl, you so bold, it's usual. You never go cold and you never go. You never go cold on me. You are the sunshine to my beach. Like the tone and the
Holiday in every way with Royal Caribbean. Get back to your day with Nurofen for Children for pain and fever relief for up to 8 hours. Nurofen for Children. Available for a great price every day at Chemist Warehouse.
Your humble hatchback, Pierre, had a horn with a pop-pop sound. Pierre looked like a roller skate, drove like a dream. When you farewelled your old life, Pierre was there. A car doesn't have to move fast to move you. If it's precious to you, protect it with us. GIO. Protect precious.
I thought I knew what perfection was. And then I met you. I do.
Who's this handsome fella? Bring it in.
Say I do to Institute.
Back everyone, first to our synoptic chart, and we are seeing some scattered showers and isolated storms through the northeast of the state under a trough. From tomorrow, high pressure should become the main weather feature through the southwest, with settled and dry weather for most of the state. The eastern seaboard does remain the exception though. We're expecting wet weather thanks to onshore winds directing showers to the coastal fringe. Now at this stage, rain totals are sitting around 20 millimetres for the coast, with around 5 to 10 millimetres through both the northeastern corner and the southeast too. But around the region tomorrow, we could see thunderstorms redevelop in the north, which could lead to a risk of damaging winds, localised rainfall and even hail, mainly near the Queensland border. Otherwise, though, as we can see, a sunny day for most. There is a chance of frost early in the morning, light winds around and temperatures sitting between the low and high 20s. We are more likely to see a widespread shower or two midweek heading into Wednesday, about a millimetre or two at this stage, but that chance of storms again sticking around for the New England northwest. Partly cloudy and 21 in Glen Innes, 23 on the way for Armidale with mild winds tending northwesterly. Thursday also looking very similar, a little cloud around, but with showers up to about 5 millimetres, warm overnight and during the day in the low to mid-20s. But we'll also notice a cool wind change from southeasterly to southwesterly that may make us feel cooler at times. 20 degrees in Murrurundi, a top of 19 through Walker. Looking ahead, after that chance of showers, it does look to return to more settled weather by the end of the week. Temperatures in at the high teens and low 20s for most of us. We'll have more on the potential of storms heading into tomorrow night. And that is your local news for this evening. I'm Kirsty Fitzpatrick. Thanks again for your company. Stay with us. Dan has your latest national news up next. We'll see you again tomorrow night at 6. Good night.